stand a chance to win a trip for two to Spain to watch Real Madrid live in action with @Nivea Man SA. Buy any Nivea Man deep product and enter *120 *607 hash to stand a chance. You can explore the sights of Madrid. You will have a training session at the Real Madrid training ground and a tour to the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. Terms and conditions apply. The competition starts from the 1st of March to the 30th of April 2023. iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiskiTimes.co.za. Mamelodi Sundowns have qualified for the semifinals of the CAF Champions League. They'll play Wydad Casablanca. Just to jog your memory, Wydad Casablanca were knocked out in the semifinals of the CAF Champions League against Kaiser Chiefs in 2020-2021 in that season, where Kaiser Chiefs qualified for the final and they lost to Al Ahly. Wydad Casablanca yesterday or last night, they defeated Simba 1-0 in the game, and then it went to penalties, and then they won 5-3 on penalties. So well done to Mamelodi Sundowns. They will beat a familiar foe, a team that they've played before. Mr. So-and-so, what did you make of this game, sir?
Mr. Ngiyokunjani mfethu?
Yes, sir.
Angibulise wena, ngibulise Junior, ngibulise Justice, ngibulise Drake.
Nothing was the same?
Ngibulise nana emakhaya, ngicela support njalo iDiskiTV. Ngizobeka nje njalo ngichike futhi.
Mr. So-and-so.
Mr. Ngiyo. Yeah, you know,
in Pretoria at 3 p.m.
Yeah, you know, ba bake another cake by fake strawberry. It was so nice. Watching Sundowns, you know, dominating again. They did first leg, they did now second leg. I mean, when you look, so Bona is scored 2-1, you see that's a wrap. There's no way. These guys, you know, at some point they've been chasing shadows where Sundowns, they, you know, controlling the game, passes, they get to that final third. You know, it's some movement. They needed just seconds for them to get another third goal. But look, I was worried. Like I said, in half time, that I was worried to how is Rolando going to manage his team when they've won 4-1 away and then they're coming home? The mindset of the players, the body language, how are they going to react? But, you know, for me, you know, the quality of a coach, you know, if you can get your players to be up to that. Yes, they didn't need to go all out, I mean, score 1 or 2 or whatever the case may be. But, you know, to go there, be professional, do the right things, react when it's necessary, don't react when it's not necessary. That's something else that it's out of this world.
Yeah, they're going to talk about VAR because there's going to be a problem here long term.
Yeah.
In Xhosa they say ukufakwa inkungu emehlweni. In English, I think the closest translation is that they pull the wool on your eyes or something like that.
Yeah.
We're looking, but bayasiphandla. The problem with VAR, it's not the first time, not the second time, is that we can all see what happened.
Yeah.
And then the referee can decide that, no, you did not see that. What happened is not what you saw happening. And my problem, and this is my opinion about it, is that if there's going to be something like that, then leave us alone with VAR because it already wastes our time. It takes 6 minutes, 5 minutes to check something. And then now that we've all seen what it is, you are lying. You're saying it's not what it is. Kwame Pepper scored against Simba in the semifinals of the CAF Confederations Cup. It was clearly an offside. But what the broadcaster did on behalf of Orlando Pirates, they didn't show that highlight in that moment. They said VAR is checking. We never saw anything. They never draw any line. And then the goal was allowed for Pirates. They qualified. They lost to Berkane on penalties in the Confederations Cup. Lying in front of us, in front of our eyes as usual. I think Sundowns, when they played against Petro Atletico, they robbed Petro in one of the legs for a penalty, or they denied them a penalty. We saw it. They lied. They acted as if we're not seeing it. So if they will lie with VAR, then it's a waste of our time. If we are relying on the mercy of the referee, so he's not going to allow certain teams to lose. If referees are honest, then we can go ahead with VAR. The system doesn't have a problem, but if the referees are not honest, then we don't need it.
Yeah, little peggy, but little cautious foot.
Yes.
Mr. Geo, my worry, I hope people they'll see what I'm gonna talk about now. There's a game between North and South. when you've been in the game for a long time, to me, it's a logic thing. You cannot have a referee from the north or from the south. You cannot have a VAR guys from the north or from the south.
And in this game,
there is a guy from Egypt.
And that man
from
was
the north. So for me, that's where it's wrong.
So the VAR was from Egypt, and Algeria is from Algeria, and those countries are pretty much neighbors.
Mr. Geo, I always say thanks God to have this feeling every now and then and see it. I said it. They're taking time because they want to cheat Sundowns. There's no way, Mr. Nkeo, if they say it's a VAR, and I said, I want to know what this card is all Rocho Sundowns. It's not going to be a penalty. But I wanted to know, if it's not a penalty, it means me throw in la paya. But I was so surprised, mabambiza uyayibheka makaceda uyathena ublow whistle uphakamisisana. Then I said uthi offside.
For what?
But now it's funny. We won't have the offside because you show us the possibility of a penalty. So where do you see? Because there's one thing that people they showed us the action of possibly a penalty. So in that manner, you cannot come back and say there's an offside. It's you can't come and say that
because there's no lines that are drawn.
Try and find it. That's why I said they just trying to cheat Sundowns and
just a quick one. So I'm saying that if they're gonna cheat live with the VAR, because the VAR is meant to help them. If they're gonna cheat live, then we don't need it. We need it, but we don't need it if it's gonna be used that way. What do you think when with all of this incident? Because we keep on seeing them, especially in the Champions League, in the last stages, because you can only get it in the quarterfinals and the semifinals and the final. If they will continue to cheat live, then we can't have it. Then there's no point of it.
We need Mr. Nkeo VAR, especially when you play against Lamatimasen North, where they always have, I would say, lucky or whatever the case may be, would always beside the nap. So you need a VAR. But one thing that I want Kev to be very, very careful about it is when they need to select the team that will be in charge for the game. It's North versus South. You don't need anyone from the North. You don't need anyone from the South because he's going to be biased. You need the West and East. If you need 4 people in the field of play, get 2 from the East, get 2 from the West. VAR, do the same. Get 2 from the East, get 2 from the West. Then they go there and then they do the game for North and South. But if you're going to have a North person, for example, if uzonikeza iVAR umuntu waseBotswana nowaseSwaziland,
makudlala team yaseSouth Africa.
Udlala eSouth Africa. WaseBotswana naseSwaziland.
Abomakhelwane.
Kanjani? Fisodliwa kanjani? Iplan solenza iplan lapha la super sport ayicima ngayivezi. Maoriver simtshele baba
bayenza kwesimba
bayenza so that's what I'm trying to show. Yes, so it's that's why they just need to learn in the future. They need to be very careful when they go to decisions to select referees and officials for VAR because they'll be biased, and when they're biased, it's going to be a problem.
I'm interested to see what Victor Hlongwane of Soccer Zone and Ace Ngwabo on the other show on SuperSport. I'm interested to see what they're going to say, because for us, if we are wrong, then it's not properly communicated there. Where they're deciding. Tina, we just saw a penalty. Everyone who was watching, they saw a penalty. Just on the last one, Sundowns on the semi-finals of the CAF Champions League. I think in the last 3 seasons, they would be knocked out in the quarterfinals, quarter. Now, they were able to jump this hurdle. They play with that Casablanca. Very quickly, just your congratulations, thoughts on them.
Kabuyelo, well done, Coach Rolane and the technical team and the boys. Well done, boys. You did very well. Semi-final, I expected them to go with the very same pace that they did on the first leg and get. I hope they start away again. then they get those maximum goals for them that will make them settle. Because I saw with Casablanca in December, and I was like, Sundowns, they can win that game if they can apply themselves like they did first leg. But I'm worried, Mr. Keo. I'm very worried with the set pieces. They considered away with the corner kick. They've considered again today with the corner kick. And now they're playing against Iwida Casablanca, where they've got tall defenders. They've got a tall striker. That what they do is they go wide, even at the center line, they whip those balls, those guys. So I'm worried how Sundowns are they gonna cope with that. Are they gonna close the width, allow them to come inside, because when they come inside, they're not dangerous with that Casablanca. But when they use the width and the depth, then they're dangerous, and that's my worry. Other than that, Sundowns, it's I would say it's open for them to go to the final, and when they get there, they must win it. It's there for them.
Right, there you go. Mamelodi Sundowns defeating Belouizdad from Algeria. I don't think anyone expected anything different, because in order for Belouizdad to progress, they would have needed to beat Sundowns 4-0. 4-0. Just to counter that 4-1 scoreline. So I don't think anyone expected anything different. Well done to Sundowns. They won this in the first leg, so they keep it moving then to the next round. Wydad Casablanca from Morocco against Mamelodi Sundowns in the semi-finals. On the other side, awaits Raja Casablanca. They're playing Al Ahly. Currently in the second leg, so possibly they will progress. I think Al Ahly is 2-0. Yeah. They'll progress to the semi-final, playing against whoever they have to play on the other side. I think it's a team that beat JS Kabyle. I think it's Esperance de Tunis, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be a jam-packed semi-final with 3 teams from the north and only 1 team from the south, which is Mamelodi Sundowns. It is iDiskiTV, Times, World Sports Betting.